Hey man, I haven't seen you in months. What are you doing?
I'm dying.
Is this because of a K-drama?
Maybe.
You know, if you die now, you'll never get to see a K-pop concert.
Ah, well. We can't have that now, can we?
Also, you haven't uploaded in 4 months.
Oh, frick frackety nick naggity!
I disown you.
Bam, it's me. What you have just witnessed was a one-to-one recreation of what just happened, mere 5 minutes ago. So yes, the reason I haven't uploaded was because I was dying. Not because I took a break from the K-pop fandom for a while, and when I came back I didn't like the video I had been planning to do anymore, and I got super busy with high school. That is definitely not the reason. I was dying, slowly and painfully, because of a K-drama. Specifically this K-drama. While I don't even know if I should call it a K-drama, it's more like a web drama. The episodes are only like 8 minutes long, and there's only 11 of them. But man, is it a wild ride. Now, I discovered this beauty while perusing Netflix, and honestly, going in, I was fairly excited. It had a really cool premise. Basically, it's about this high schooler who, after an accident, gains the ability to see whether someone is about to die. Their skin goes white and their eyes go red. He can also see when someone has intentions to kill someone. They have white skin and blue eyes. Pretty cool, right? I was so intrigued by this concept that, even after realizing how short the episodes were, I stuck with it much longer than I probably should have. And I was thoroughly disappointed, but honestly, not surprised. Let me explain. As previously mentioned, our lovable protagonist is a high schooler named An Tae-young, and unlike the rest of the cast, he actually has a character arc, which is cool. Except it's less of an arc and more like this. I actually kinda liked him in the beginning. I mean, he was a typical, I just want to do good and make the girl I like for no reason love me anime type protagonist, but he had his moments. But by the end, I just kinda found him extremely annoying. And look, it's my favorite character, Girl. Yes, that's what I'm going to refer to her as. She adds literally nothing. As I'll explain later, if she was cut out of the story completely, it would be a million times better. The romance subplot she exists for is absolute garbage. Woo! Hey look, it's the villain! I wonder what unique and quirky personality he'll have. Is he a Moriarty ripoff? Oh. And then we have the best friend character, or as I like to call him, the best character that is way too good for this show. First off, the actor. The actor. Secondly, he's just kind of a fun character to watch. He's so pure and sassy at the same time. I'm gonna put this all on the actor because I honestly highly doubt he would even be noteworthy if we were just like going off this script. Okay, I'm done gushing about him. I'm sorry, okay, I'm sorry. There are many problems with the plot, one of them being the exposition. There are 2 types of exposition in this show: bad exposition and no exposition. When they do decide to explain things, it's usually in voiceover or inner monologuing, which is just intensely thrilling to watch and very, very well written. They leave out so many basic things you should know, like how the power that they have even works, and how you get it or anything. There are no rules. You don't really understand how it works. They kind of say the more you use it, the stronger it gets, and the less you use it, the less you see people with the eyes or whatever. But they don't explain how you use it. Is using it acting on it? It's very confusing. And if you compare it to something like Death Note, the anime, which has like very specific rules, that's why the show is so interesting, because you understand the Death Note just as well as the characters do, and so going into situations, you have a better understanding of what their options are, but I have no idea what the limitations or even the powers of this power-up even are. And especially one part that annoys me is there's towards the beginning of the show, I think it's in the second episode, the character is seeing people with red eyes and he's following them, trying to save them, and the eyes keep going away, and then another one comes by and he's following this trail of people and it leads him to the villain. But it's like, and I guess you're supposed to assume that the villain did it, but they never really say how he did it from where he was sitting without. It's very strange. They do say that he can kill people from a distance, but generally he has to be looking at them. It's just very confusing, and even the villain's like flashback is weird, and his motivations are just like non-existent. He just kind of follows the main character around and is like, I'm gonna make him, I'm gonna do something, and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, dude. Okay, you're very scary, sir. Like even more basic things than that, like how people know each other, they never really explain it. Like how the main character knows Girl, he just kind of, shows up at the roof and you're like, do they live in the same apartment building? Where is this roof? And then later you find out they go to the same school, but you're like, I honestly thought she was older than him, like a young adult. So that was strange. And another part, he just kind of runs after this girl who's in danger of like not going to his date or whatever because he's got to save the girl, but he acts like he knows her, but we don't know how he knows her. He just kind of knows her name and she knows him. And once again later we find out they go to the same school, but you're not invested in that relationship or the tension at all because you don't know how they know each other or if they even like each other. That's never really clear if he even likes her. So that's just great. Another problem that this show has is plot lines that just kind of don't go anywhere. There's like literally the second scene in the entire show is this dream sequence where the main character is falling in this garden of flowers, and it's supposed to be like, oh, he's smelling flowers or whatever. And there's this whole plot in literally just in the first episode where part of his power is that he can smell fragrances from people. Like, he can smell flowers from his mother, and he smells throw up from his doctor, and he smells cologne from the best character. And it's like, why? And I think it's briefly mentioned in the very last episode, but it adds absolutely nothing. They don't use it at all. It's very strange. And there's this whole plot line with Girl and her uncle where she thinks that he killed her mother, and as far as we know, he did, but they kind of try and redeem it, and then he gets beaten up by like these loan sharks or whatever, and the main character saves him, and then he dies, and it's like, okay, am I supposed to feel sad that he died or happy that he died? The main character is sad, but as far as I know, that guy did kill Girl's parents. Or mother, rather. So it's like, alright. The next thing is something I mentioned briefly, which would be the main character's character arc, or kind of a redemption arc. It's a problem because he's literally good one episode, and then suddenly he gets like corrupted by power, I guess. And he says like, oh, no one ever praised me, and then he saves people and everyone loves him, and like we're supposed to think that like he's turning like corrupt because he's suddenly like being recognized, but we never see him not being recognized. I guess he doesn't have the girl, but plus it seems like he's like at best apathetic towards his popularity and like at worst straight up annoyed. And like he gets into a fight with the best character for no reason. They just kind of start fighting and he just turns heartless and he's like willing to let a train full of people die. And he like goes like Super Saiyan and almost kills the guy, but then he saves the girl from the crash, like a car crash, and that probably wouldn't have even killed her because her eyes weren't red, and he's just suddenly good. And it feels like there are missing scenes, like there are just entire parts of this show that are just missing. And I think I probably know why. So this show is based off of a webcomic. You could perhaps argue that, oh, maybe this like is better in the comic. You should read the comic, or this or that's explained in the comic, or all these character moments are in the comic that is missing from the show. But that would just make the show a bad adaptation. Even if it was like a bad adaptation, it would have to be completely different from the show in order for me to read it, because there's still just so many like cliche plot ideas in and it's just like the characters, I can't see them being interesting, even if we got more moments with them to get to know them better or whatever. And for some reason the show is like kind of plugging the webcomic. I don't know if they made this just to plug the webcomic, but it's so cringy. There's this scene where after the main character gets suddenly popular for saving people, and this guy comes to interview him, and he wants to make a webcomic about him, and it's so uncomfortable. The scene is so cringy, and they plug it right at the end too. So there's a chance that this whole show was just to get me to read the webcomic, but it didn't work. And honestly, if that is the art from the webcomic, I'm definitely not reading it. The next thing I want to talk about is the romance. Oh boy, the romance. It's completely pointless. You feel like it's wasting your time, because it's never explained why they like each other, what they like about each other. They're just kind of like, I like you. There's literally no investment in the beginning of their relationship. And so, they have one date, and it's kind of cute, I guess. And so there's like no tension at all through like all this stuff that's going on, because I'm like, I don't care. You guys have been like together for like 3 minutes, and like I don't care about any of this. I don't care if you guys get proposed. I don't care about this kiss. You can light it as however romantically as you want. I don't care. I don't care if you break up. Good, go ahead, break up, And there's no reward at the end. All these like happy scenes with them, like, it's like you don't feel anything, because you're like, you didn't earn this. You didn't earn this happy, cute little moment with the two of them. And I feel like all of the parts that girl plays in the story could have totally been replaced by the best character. I guess the reason girl exists is to be the main character's weak point that the villain can kind of go after, and she can kind of be like, oh, don't use your power, you gotta step back, bro. But I feel like best character could have done that. Like, they're good friends. Best character is actually an interesting character, and he's, fun to watch. And girl has literally no character. She's just kind of quiet, I guess. And she has like no motivation. Her mother died by her uncle, and so when she tells the main character to stop using his power, you're like, why though? Like, she has the power for no reason, and she doesn't want him to use it because she wants ignorance? You would think it would be the opposite. Like she was upset that she couldn't use it to save her mother or something. Overall, worst character. Final thing I want to talk about is the bad production. So it's pretty obvious to me that they did not have a big budget for this. Like I said before, the episodes are really short, but at the same time, there are just so many mistakes that you're just like, okay, you know, like they choose to show the main character falling from the roof, despite the fact that, ooh, that's CGI. Oh no. And they do this weird, like, 90s montage at one point where they're, like, spinning the camera around, and it could have looked actually pretty good, but it just, the way it's edited is just, like, it doesn't look smooth, and it's really pointless, and there's such a weird transition out of it. And, you know, sometimes I can tell they're going for more ambitious or interesting cinematography, and it does not work. It really doesn't work. And just some of the editing is just very strange. Like at one point they do a jump scare for no reason, and some of their song choices.
야! 죽다 살아난 놈 치고 멀쩡하네? 어? 패스!
Wow.
야! 죽다 살아난 놈 치고 멀쩡하네? 어? 패스!
Wow.
너무 안 봤다.
Oh, some of those songs. And sometimes they don't show things. Like there's a scene where the villain is threatening to kill someone, and he's like, oh, you gotta get to him before I kill him. But we never see the person he's threatening to kill. I don't know if they were trying to make us think that it was someone we cared about, but that would be impossible because I don't care about anyone in the show. And the acting is just...
새끼? 이 어린 놈이 어디서 새끼야?
I mean, I don't speak Korean.
계속해서 사람을 죽여도 상관이 없다. 왜? 네 사람들이 아니라서? 과연 끝까지 멀쩡할 수 있을까? 닥쳐 이 새끼야!
I don't think I need to speak Korean.
야! 뭐? 최소음 새끼 저거. 됐어, 가자. 아이씨, 너 아무 하거나 올리지 마 새끼야. 어? 어? 찌찌뽕 새끼야. 어? 새끼야. 널 만나기 죄다. 아, 이 새끼야.
뻔한 테러를 사전에 예방할 수 있게 됐습니다.
얘들아 나 좀 말 좀 하자.
왔어? 왜 불렀는데? 보고 싶으니까. 소리야? 잘해봐.
이거 커플링 아닌가? 아까 인터뷰 잘하던데 감동받았어? 내놔 이 새끼.
Oh my god, he's so cute. So cute. So cute.
And you know, I honestly probably forgot some things. There are just so many little problems with this that honestly, if I tried to talk about them, this video would be even longer, and I don't think any of us want that. You know, it was pretty bad and all, but I can honestly tell there was some passion with the crew. Like, there are some bloopers and stuff that they put at the end of like the last episode, and you can tell it's not like they're not trying, it's just that they don't execute it well. And there's some parts of it that are pretty good. It's just that they're lost in a sea of really bad stuff. And you know, ultimately, this show at best could have just been mediocre. It's too cliche at its heart. Well, this video was very long, but it needed to be made. Maybe I'll do more like it in the future. I don't know. We'll see. Well, it's time for me to sign off. Tay-Tay's my baby, and good night.